We are doing a 6-part series on French and Raven's power bases, the types of power. And in this video, we're going to look specifically at reward power. Hello there, friends, and welcome back. If we haven't met yet, Alex Lyon, and this channel is called Communication Coach. We're here for emerging leaders to help you increase your impact and ideally lead the people around you to higher levels of excellence. And one of the ways to do that is to get in touch with the kinds of power that you may or may not have at your disposal, the types of social influence that you can use to get the job done in and around the workplace. And to do that, we're going to look at French and Raven's 6 power bases. And power, speaking more generally, is the ability of person A, the leader, to do or say something to the follower, person B, to change their behavior, their attitude, or their belief. And reward power is one way to do that. So reward power, quite simply, is the leader's ability to mediate rewards, to give a reward or withhold a reward for compliance of the follower. Now, on the one hand, a reward can clearly be something that the leader gives. So typically we think of things like a bonus, a raise, or some kind of other financial incentive as a reward. But a reward could also be something less tangible, like time off, or maybe some professional development opportunities, some mentoring. There are lots of rewards, and the types of rewards you give are really only limited by the leader's creativity. Now, on the other hand, a reward could also be something that the leader removes that the follower doesn't want in the first place. So some amount of work, for example, that you can take off their plate as a reward. Some coaches will do this. Maybe you've been on an athletic team and you're working hard and the season's going well. Every once in a while, a coach will cancel a practice or cancel the last half of practice as a type of relief, a reward for a job well done. I sometimes do that as a professor. I sometimes take away something that the students don't want as a reward. Like same thing as a coach, whereas if the class is doing really well, I might say, okay, you've all been performing well, your grades are good, so let's cancel this last quiz or let's cancel this last paper. And that is a reward because it's something that they don't want that you're removing. So you're relieving them. So it could be giving something that they do want or taking away something that they don't want. Now, there are a couple of details that I want to talk about in terms of what makes this reward power stronger or weaker. And one of them is clearly the size of the reward. If you give a little reward, like a 1% bonus, that's not going to be anywhere near as enticing, as rewarding as a 20% bonus or a 50% bonus. Clearly, the size of the reward really does matter. Another thing that matters is whether or not you promise the reward versus actually giving the rewards out at points along the way. So a promise might sound something like this. If you work hard and if you really do what you're supposed to do, then 5 years from now, you're going to get all these good things. That's like a promise of a far-off reward in the future that may or may not happen. That's not as powerful as an actual reward that's given out for specific points along the way. So it's much better to give out rewards, even if they're smaller rewards, at intervals for accomplishments, for milestones that the person is meeting. In the same way, a reward has to be within my scope as the leader to give you. So if I end up promising you something that's outside of my ability to reward you with, then you're going to know that's going to be a very weak incentive. If I have to, for example, ask my boss and then he or she has to ask the boss above to get all this approval, then me saying that you get this reward is not really going to have a lot of power because you know that I don't really have the direct ability to mediate that reward. So a reward has to be something that I can actually give you or something that I can take away from you, again, that you do not want. So those are some characteristics of what makes a reward stronger or weaker. Now, French and Raven we're often asked about this, is this a type of power effective? And they say, absolutely it is effective because it's really a win-win. The leader gets to be the good person giving out the rewards, and the follower gets to receive the rewards. So giving and receiving rewards is wonderful. And as I mentioned, it's very motivating because the types of rewards that you can give are really only limited by the kind of creativity that you can come up with. So it could be financial on the one side, but it can also be something creative, like you could have a party at work, or you can bring in a professional masseuse that can give people massages in the massage chairs. You can have a party, you can have a guest speaker, you can get people to travel to conferences for professional development. It doesn't simply have to be some financial reward. I think that in this day and age, we can be rewarded by lots of different things. So it's really a win-win for everybody. And I want to encourage you to think about, in your position, what are the kinds of rewards that you could give to somebody, or what are the kinds of things you can take away, you can remove from people's responsibility that they don't want to do. That could be a reward as well. So before we leave, I wanted to tell you about two things. The first one is that the next video in this series is on coercive power. And reward power and coercive power really go hand in hand. And so you want to make sure you look at that video. And the second thing I wanted to tell you about is a free resource that I would like to provide to you. It's a PDF download on the essential communication skills that every professional should have. So there's a link in the description below, and it's pinned in the first comment in that section below as well. And you go to that link, and there's an opportunity for you to enter your email, and then I email you that free PDF download. So thanks, God bless, and I will see you in the next video on coercive power.